through the drought of 18-19, I kind of promised myself I'd never let the farm get as bare again, and I thought sacrifice paddocks, just blew away. So I decided to build this drought lot so we could contain stock in the next big drought event. We farm about 3,000 acres, half of which is given over to crop. A lot of those are multi-purpose crops for grazing, and the other half we run our sheep. So we run about 3,600 crossbred ewes. We buy those in March every year, and then sell the oldest off in about June. So we're only kind of at that peak number for a few months. And we join those, and our goal is always to get as close to about 150% lambing as we can. And for the first time ever, we actually achieved that last year on the back of 3 pretty good seasons. So the ewes are all in good condition, but it kind of reinforced the fact that it's all about condition score and getting those ewes in the right nick to join them to get the big lambing percentages. Set up to feed about 2,000 ewes, and we've got a setup where we can fill the one long trough, 500 metres long, externally. So we've given every sheep 250 mils to get access. I'm hoping that'll be enough. We can adjust the numbers back otherwise, but depending on wool length and a couple of other things, it should be enough. About 3 to 4 square metres per sheep. So the pens are actually 125 metres long and only 15 metres wide, so very long and thin, but that gives everything simultaneous access to feed. I did have an area where we do feed, and we feed lot lambs, so I wanted to make it near there because of the synergy of silos and amenities. But I also needed good water and good slope, so that site did work well. I did think long and hard about it, but I am happy with my site. I mean, pastures are so expensive to put in. There's a lot of money goes into, lime and preparation and seed and getting them right. And the last thing you want to do is kind of just belt them in dry times. So, I just determined not to do that again. So we're gonna lock up dry ewes mainly. We'll join in confinement. We won't lamb in confinement, but definitely join in confinement, and post-weaning ewes can go in there. We've also put EID tags in all our ewes so we can identify those ewes and identify ewes that maybe are shy feeders, and put them through the auto drafter. Once they get we get a year or two behind us, if hopefully we don't have to, but if we're continually feeding sheep in that area, we can identify before they go in sheep that aren't adapting to that confinement feeding, maybe leave them out or put them in a pen with much smaller numbers. I'm much happier, there's a bit of chat about mental health, about locking sheep up and how it felt. My greatest anxiety was going into a big sacrifice paddock with, a huge mob of bloody ewes that were all starving, chasing up the paddock, potentially wasting a percentage of that grain, running it into the ground. Also, wandering around the paddock all day, looking for feed that wasn't there, and none of it made any sense. So to be able to lock them up, even though, it's not a great look having sheep locked up in confinement, but if you do it well and they're getting a ration, you can weigh that ration into their feed trough. They've got good water, they've got shade, which we've gone to the trouble of putting in some, a lot of deciduous trees that are well guarded. So I'm hoping, we're going to get a good outcome out of all that. I kind of think with a confinement feeding, you got to do it when you're not feeding, because you need to do it at a time when you're not as busy. And also, I would say, do it once and do it really well. Like set it up with shade, get good water. I like the idea of that external access to that trough, so you're not bloody moving sheep every day, and all that is more work. So, do it once and do it really well, and you're kind of set up for life.